injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Select Health, how can we help?
Hi, my CEO needs a POV on the ROI of HDHPs. Buy EOD.
Okay, so you're a small business. Let's start there.
How'd you know that?
Let's just say it's not my first RODEO. Get it? Rodeo.
Oh, right. Letters.
Let's get started.
Real people, real answers in real time. Select Health. Insurance made simple. Learn more at selecthealth.org.
At 303 Law 4040, we know getting into an accident stinks, and so does getting worked over by the insurance company or even your slick-talking made-for-TV lawyer. So if we can help, just give us a call. 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. That's 303 Law 4040.
You could save thousands of dollars on the products your business uses the most with the Home Depot's new Pro Extra Preferred Pricing. Registering is free and easy. Just have your tax ID or business or contractor's license ready. But don't wait. The current preferred pricing benefit will end on November 15th. Visit your local Pro Desk to register now and unlock the deepest savings on the products you choose.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Annuities, non-advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at trajanwealth.com.
Red Rock Roofing. Red Rock Roofing stands for greatness, which is why their free inspection videos offer you valuable knowledge and peace of mind about your Red Rock roof. Red Rock roofers use only the finest roofing materials on the market, installing roofs that'll stand up to all Colorado weather, and they'll even upgrade you to impact-resistant shingles at no cost. Call 720-735-ROOF. Visit redrockroofing.com. Red Rock Roofing, standing for greatness.
If you don't think doing a quick and free check of your finances is worth it, let me share this recent customer story. Jason and Barbara H. from Denver called us wanting to see if they could save money. Credit was okay, and there was a good amount of debts. Their fear was another lender they went to first, shame on them, told them yes in the beginning and then denied them during the process. When they called us, we not only approved the loan, we saved them $3,900 a month.
What? $3,900 a month?
Yes, this couple just saved $3,900 a month by calling U.S. Mortgages. And best of all, with our lowest rate for life guarantee, if the market improves in the future, even as little as 0.5%, they can redo the loan and increase their savings further without any lender or appraisal fees. You could be our next success story. Call 303-LOW-RATE. That's 303-LOW-RATE or online at usmloan.com.
All loans subject to approval and change. License number 392126.
Are you one of those people who dread going to the dentist? If so, have you tried sedation dentistry? Learn more about sedation dentistry at coloradosedation.com. Sit back, relax, and dream with the most experienced sedation dentist and staff at Clarkson Dental.
Woodley's Fine Furniture, specializing in custom upholstery, solid wood, and the most comfortable leather furniture imaginable. You will not find better built furniture than at Woodley's. Visit woodleys.com today.
KKFN
and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's
Monday night. Dante, have you recovered from that Broncos win?
I have recovered from the Broncos win. However, I've not recovered. I hurt my back playing golf on Saturday. So
what?
I know. I feel so old saying that, and I'm a tall person, which typically that leans itself into back pain. Don't really have a lot of back pain, some neck stuff sometimes here and there, but my low back is just been killing me for the last 72 hours.
Wow.
So, Mike, not to be offensive here, you're kind of old. You got any tips for me?
No, because I have low back issues that I still haven't been able to solve. I'm sure we're going to get all kinds of texts here on the RumbleSlot.com text line about the old guy and the young guy and their lower back issues. Oh, my goodness, but there's nothing quite like a Broncos win over the Chiefs to help with all things that ail, and I'm that's AIL. Yeah, I think not ALE.
You're asking the wrong guy. I am not a speller.
Oh my goodness, it feels like a Friday, but it's only a Monday. The week is starting off slow. 303-713-1043 is the RamosLaw.com text line if you want to weigh in. Dante, that was something yesterday at Empower Field at Mile High, and it's been, I think, just a fun day. It was a fun night last night after the game to sort of bask in it and talk to Broncos country on the Fan Football postgame show. And then today just to listen to the guys throughout the day here on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan and get a sampling from Broncos country. And this is, I guess I start with this. Do you see this now as a changing of the guard in the AFC West?
Yes.
You're going that far?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the Broncos are young and they're obviously really good, 9-2 at this point. They just beat the, 8-time defending AFC West champ in the, Kansas City Chiefs. They're pushing them to 5-5. There's just no chance the Chiefs are winning the division this year. I think the Chargers still have a chance to, uproot the lead that the Broncos have at the moment, but there's just no way the Chiefs are winning the division this year. I think the Chiefs are still going to be good. Like, Patrick Mahomes isn't just going to fall off the face of the earth here. In the next decade, he's still, in the prime of his career, you could say. But the days of them winning the division 8 times in a row, that's not going to happen anymore. And it's really hard to win a Super Bowl if you're not winning the division, if you're not hosting playoff games, if you don't have, that 13-3 record or whatever, 12-4 record. I'm still going based on 16 games here, but
right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
I think it's going to be really difficult for the Chiefs to win Super Bowls if they're not winning their division. I'm not saying it's impossible for them, but it's going to be the Broncos aren't going anywhere. Bo Nix is young. Sean Payton, he's on the older side, but he's still got another half decade to decade left here with the Broncos. I think he wants to be a part of the new stadium opening in 2031 or whenever that's supposed to be. So I think the Broncos are here, and I don't imagine them going anywhere anytime soon.
No, it was just something to see, and they did it in so many different ways. The defense was so good, but I want to start with the quarterback. Bo Nix was really good. And I know he didn't have any touchdown runs or touchdown passes. He just looked like a guy that was a different player, Dante. He was calm. His feet were settled. He went through progressions. He did all the things that you want your quarterback to do, and he seemingly fixed a lot. Maybe it was game plan. Maybe it was the extra time from the Raiders game. I don't know. Maybe it was the Raider game on a short week. I don't know. He just looked so much better. And it was so encouraging to see. I mean, you still see stuff online, and I know there's people in Broncos country that aren't convinced. I'm convinced. Look, the guy played really well. He has the ability to play really well, and he did so in another big moment. He's had big moments this year. This was the biggest of the moments to this point, and he came through. He came through with a really big game, and he did so when the Broncos really needed it because the running game obviously was not where it needs to be without J.K. Dobbins. And so for Bo to do what he's done or do what he did yesterday, given all of that, man, tip of the helmet to one Mr. Nix.
Yeah, Bo, oh my goodness. Good for him. He needed this. He'd been struggling for a little bit this season. And to do it, to be able to go out and have this type of performance versus, obviously a good team in the Chiefs, but a great defense. I mean, that's one of their calling cards at this point with Steve Spagnuolo over there. So I think it was really impressive and proved a lot to me. Not that he needed to prove anything to me. We heard Adam Troutman talking about that after the game. I am not Dragon Slayer 69. I have not been, talking crap about Bo online, but from time to time I'll be a little critical of him here on this show. But yeah, great for him. And I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was before the Texans week. We were talking about, what does Bo need to go out there and do? And I kind of had the thought that I don't really care what he does against Houston. I don't really care what he does against Las Vegas. I need to see it against the Chiefs. And he went out there and did it against the Chiefs. And that to me proves more than, you could add up pretty much every game that we've had this season. The game yesterday proved to me more than the previous, what did that be? 9 games combined.
Yeah, But so much of it was that this game meant so much because they got enough and beat the Texans and they beat the Eagles and they came back to beat the Giants and they routed the Cowboys. That's what is so magical to me and so impressive to me about what the Broncos are doing is that this game against the Chiefs might have had even bigger stakes had the Broncos not done what they did in those other games. And so the fact they were able to continue it and have been able to continue it against a team like Kansas City, to me just speaks to the added resiliency, the added resolve that this team has shown throughout the year. And every time they're asked to show it again, they have. And I'm getting to the point where I'm taking it for granted. I really am. And that speaks to me to identity. When you start to take for granted how a team wins or how a team plays, both good and bad, it's like, well, that's kind of who they are then, or at least who they've shown themselves to be. And on the plus side, in the areas of like resolve and resiliency and toughness and hanging in there, whatever you call that, hanging in there, that quality, the Broncos have done it from week one. They really have.
Yeah, when they need to be at their best, they are at their best. When it's coming back against Philadelphia, when it's, coming back against the Giants, they were in some bad spots in those games, and they were able to do it for, that fourth quarter there. But they were able to do it throughout this entire game. And in a game like this, you never know what play is going to be the play that is the difference at the end of the game. So Bo was dialed in throughout the entire game, had a really, impressive game, didn't make many mistakes, gave his team a chance to win the ball game. And I think he does that a lot during this. He's done that a lot during this season and last season. But to be able to give your chance to win the ball game against a team like the Chiefs, who needed this game, the stakes, we can talk about how big the stakes were for the Broncos. I think they were double or more than that as big for the Chiefs in this game. Chiefs could not afford to fall to 5-5 the way they have. They're now, 3 or 4 games back in the division here, with not many games left to play. So it really puts them behind the 8 ball in terms of winning the division, absolutely, but even making the playoffs at this point. So they took the Chiefs' best punch, and they were, standing strong at the end of the game. So, and I think a lot of that comes down to Bo Nix and how he was able to play for the full 60 minutes.
See, I think this was equally of a big game for the Broncos, because when you're trying to get where the other team is, and you've been on the other end of the spectrum, you've been in the basement, you've been that cellar dweller, and you don't have a culture, you don't have a team, you don't have a roster, you don't have much of anything. And before Sean got here, they didn't have a coach. It means a lot to be able to, as you said, deliver that uppercut to the team that's on the throne. And sure, the Chiefs needed the game in terms of the playoff picture more, but the fact the Broncos got it now sets them up for and puts them in position to realize an AFC West championship, to get a playoff game or two at home. They're right in the thick of the race for the number 1 seed. There was a lot on the line for the Broncos to continue ascending. There really was, to me. And I know what Sean was saying, you're playing with house money. This is my philosophy on house money. It's never house money. It's either your money or it's the dealer's money. And when you have a $20 bill in your pocket that you won from the dealer, that's your money. That's not house money. My point is, the Broncos had a lot at stake, to me anyway. And the fact they were able to come through and really solidify their position, I think just puts, and now they get a bye week, now they get guys back, it really sets them up for the stretch drive of the regular season.
Yeah, and maybe it wasn't the biggest game in terms of their stakes for making the playoffs or winning the division. I think they had a good chance to do that regardless of the outcome in yesterday's game, but the believability of the team to go out and beat a team like the Chiefs, and they beat the Eagles earlier in the year. You beat the 2 teams that represented the NFL in the Super Bowl last year, and those teams they haven't fallen off a cliff. There's still really good football teams in Philadelphia and Kansas City. So the fact that the Broncos were able to go out there and beat them at their own game, because the Eagles and Chiefs both thrive in these one-score games and just doing enough to win. We've seen both of those teams do that throughout the last 3, 4, 5 years here, and the Broncos beat them at their game, winning close games. Speaks to, I think it speaks a lot to Sean Payton and the culture that Sean Payton's built within that locker room with the players, that those guys have all the belief in the world that our bet, when it means the most or when it matters the most, our best is better than their best.
Yeah, and Sean talked about the confidence after the game. He's talked about the toughness. He's talked. Adam Troutman comes out and just look. I heard Zach's take and Phil's take earlier, and I do agree that it never really pays to get on the fans. But at the same time, I understand what Troutman did. And when you stand up for your teammate, that's a statement there too. If you don't, I get it. Some people in Broncos country either aren't convinced about Bo, still don't believe he's going to be any good, still don't believe he is any good. That's great. If that's what you believe, maybe in segment 2 we'll talk about what you want to see. But at the same time, the kid keeps making plays when games are on the line, and there is a part of me that likes it when teammates come out and back the other guy and do so in a way that's just direct and blunt and in your face. There is a part of me that feels like that's part of the closeness and the chemistry of this group. And Dante, I think that stuff matters. And I think it matters to this team right now a lot.
Yeah, no, I think this is a very connected group they have here in Denver. I think everyone feels like they're on the same page. It's it's about the team. It's not about individuals. And Sean Payton, kind of alluded to that in his post-game press conference when asking about Bo Nix's performance. And he goes, hey, he won the game, and that's what matters. And that is what matters, winning the games. Obviously, especially in a game like this, with the opponent is that quality of an opponent, just come out of the game with a W. That's what, if you're facing the 1-6 Jets, maybe you want to see a little bit of style points, maybe you want to see them pass the eye test as well. But when you're facing the Chiefs, it's all about getting the win, and that's what they were able to do. You were talking about being direct there, and how did you feel about Sean Payton, his comments coming out at halftime? I forgot who the sideline reporter was.
Tracy Wolfson.
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, I like where I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but it was, I like where we're at. They're a first half team, so I think we're looking pretty good here." And it was a 6-6 ball game. Just the confidence that someone has to have to say that when you're going up against arguably the best team in the NFL that we've seen for the last decade there. And just call them out, like, "Yep, nope, they're a first half team. We're going to be good here in the second half." How did you feel about that?
Yeah, that's some chutzpah right there. That's ballsy. It is. But it made me think of this, and I want to tie it back. You remember during Super Bowl week, and Sean Payton did the interview with Kay Adams, said, we're going to be a problem. He talked about things like, we're good at wide receiver. We believe in this group more than others. He said things like that. And I came away saying, Sean Payton many times tells you exactly where he stands and exactly what he's going to do or not do. And then you fast forward, and the comments during training camp of, I've had 6 or 7 teams that I felt before the year started could be a team that's good enough to reach the Super Bowl, along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. And, that wasn't my favorite comment to hear from Sean, because I think you underpromise and overdeliver. And when you talk, you tend to overpromise, or you run the risk of overpromising. And yet, Dante, he was right. I mean, here we are 11 games through the season. He was right on that point. Even if you don't like Sean Payton at all, he was right. They're 9-2 and they've won 8 in a row, and they found a way to do it. When the chips are down, virtually every game, except the Colts and except the Chargers. But it's remarkable the way they've done it. And so I hear him say that about the Chiefs, and I go, well, the Broncos had the better second half. So who was right? Sean Payton was right again. He just was.
Yeah, no, and, he was able to back it up, and I respect the heck out of him for going out and saying that. Probably not the thing I would have said coming out of halftime in a tie ball game with maybe, one of the most clutch quarterbacks we've ever seen in Patrick Mahomes there, but, it was... That's who Sean Payton is. He's a confident guy. It can rub people the wrong way sometimes, and I've always said this, I want that kind of personality as my head football coach. I think most head football coaches have that. I think Andy Reid's one of the only exceptions where Andy Reid's not very outspoken, but you look around the league at some of the other very successful coaches. Kyle Shanahan can be a little outspoken. Sean McVay can be a little outspoken about their teams. So I like that he has that. I think it's a very important quality to have in a good football coach. So all props to him for the way he's able to turn around this organization in just such a short time. He went out last year, said something pretty similar, like, yeah, the next time I win 6 games will be the first time I win 6 games, and then, blows the win total out of the water, goes out and wins, what they win, 10 games last year? Yeah, 10 games. 10. So almost doubles up what they were expect to win there. So I think, he walks the walk, and, or he talks the talk and he walks the walk. So I couldn't be more impressed with what Sean Payton's been able to do. And, that includes developing Bo Nix. I think it helped Bo Nix that he was able to take a step back on a little mini bye week here because he had not been looking great leading up to this game. But he looked a lot more assertive of the offense. He stepped up in the pocket better. He didn't have those happy feet that we've been seeing where, at the first sign of something going poorly, he's going to get out of the pocket and try to, use his athleticism. But no, he stood in the pocket much better, had a lot better footwork in this game. So I think Sean's been doing a fantastic job with this group.
Yeah, on the RamosLaw.com text line from the 8641, slight correction for me. I'll take it. Troutman wasn't talking about the fans. He was talking about dishonest media members. I mean, okay, but I think he was... I think you can lump some fans in there. Is that a little bit stretching the context?
I thought he was talking about more like the trolls.
Yeah.
That's why he was talking about like, an anonymous username.
Yeah, and that's a good way to put it as we sort of define this or as I think.
We have the audio if you want to play it on there. It should be towards the bottom, Adam Troutman.
Okay, I'll look for it. 28? Okay, this is what Troutman said.
First off, if you're talking shit about Bo online, you're a coward. Absolute coward. But just want to say that and guard him a little bit. But, I mean, it says a lot. He blanks it out, and we talked about it this week. We don't care what other people think. We know what we have in the building, and we know what he's made of, and we don't really care what people have to say. So, Dragon Slayer 69 with his 7-Eleven Slurpee in his mom's basement, I don't give a shit what he has to say, right? And Bo doesn't either.
Yeah, those are trolls. Those aren't just media members. Because most media members who are covering the team aren't going to say that, things like that, or they're going to ask Bo about things, and Bo was asked about some of the criticism, which is a fair question. It's a fair question to ask him about that. So we clean that up a little bit. I appreciate the text there from the 8641. Here's Jake, who weighs in. Forget stats. I have been very critical of Bo this season. That said, I'm a season ticket holder there to see every play develop. That may have been his best game as a pro against a very good defense. Made the right reads. Finally threw a nice deep ball. Clutch again. great 3 phases win. See, now I can appreciate Jake's take right there and just saying, sometimes we are wrong in our opinions.
Well, I don't even know if you could qualify us as being wrong necessarily. I think Bo went out and had a really good game. I think we were right in being critical of him after the Jets game or being critical of him after some of the other poor performances he's had. But, who he was then doesn't mean who he's going to be this last Sunday, and who he played like this last Sunday doesn't mean it's all going to be, uphill from here. Growth isn't always linear. Sometimes it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or it's 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, whatever it may be. So I don't necessarily think we were wrong about Bo in the past. I think Bo played really well on Sunday, but that doesn't mean he's going to play well every single Sunday from here on out. It doesn't mean he played well, on Sundays before this is too.
No, but I think Jake was just saying, I took Jake's comments to mean that critical of Bo just maybe on what kind of player he could be. And I do think it is sort of it's always a reaction to what we see after every game versus what we think the longer-term projection is. You can go through a rough patch and still be a talented young player that has ability that I or anybody else thinks will develop into a very good player. But yeah, Bo has had certainly some bad stretches in most games, and this was probably his most complete game of the year against the best team putting that kind of performance together. It was impressive.
Yeah, and that's why I did say this going into the game. Bo Nix is a gamer. When the game's on the line, he's going to be at his best. When he faces better competition, he's going to be at his best as well. I think Sean Payton has a little bit of that in him too, of, when they step up in competition, he feels that competitiveness to, I'm going to go out and have a game that people are going to talk about on Monday on SportsCenter all day, that people are going to be talking about during the Sunday night football game of like, wow, what a win for this Broncos team. No one really believed in this Broncos team in this specific game. So I think that, feeds into how competitive these guys are. And we haven't even gotten into this part of it. For Bo to go out and have that kind of performance without J.K. Dobbins, who's been the most stable player on offense, probably the most impactful player on the Broncos offense this whole year, only makes it even more impressive for me.
It does, but we talked about that a little bit on Friday, Dante. Could the fact that the Broncos are going to be down their best running back and down their most consistent threat at that position, and would that then force Sean or cause Sean to put the ball and the onus more on Bo Nix and his ability to throw and use the short passing game as a bit of an extension of the running game? I think we saw all of that happen, and Bo came through. He absolutely came through. Hey, by the way, on the RamosLaw.com text line from the 8856, we have some advice for you as far as your back. Bridges, knees together, rock them side to side, dead bugs, 3 sets of 10, morning and night. Get on it there, DG. Get on it.
I think I might have to wait a couple days till I'm feeling better enough to do exercises, but I appreciate the advice.
There you go. Hey, we've got a pair of tickets to give away. We're giving away a pair of tickets to see Hairball, the premier arena rock tribute band. They'll be live at Paramount on the 16th of January. Caller number 3 right now. Same number, 303-713-1043. Caller 3 get you a couple tickets to the Arena Rock Tribute Band Hairball at the Paramount on January 16th. What do the Broncos need to do? Do they need to do anything to rise to the very top, secure the number 1 spot in the AFC West, lock down that number 1 seed in the AFC? What's the ceiling for this team? That's next on Denver Sports Tonight.
Tune into The Rundown with Richie Carney every weekday at noon on YouTube, Facebook, or X. Presented in part by the Birdie Bar, Louisville's premier indoor golf bar experience. Check out this week's live music, trivia, and other fantastic events at thebirdiebar.com on the web and Instagram. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Broncos country, football season is in full swing. Whether you're bundling up at Empower Field or heading to Boulder to cheer on Coach Prime and the Buffs, make sure you get there on time and in style. Let my friends at Hermes Worldwide tackle the traffic and parking hassles for you, and all you need to do is sit back, relax, stay warm, and enjoy the ride while they get you to and from the game safely, so you can focus on the important stuff, like watching your favorite team stack those wins or making as many memories as possible with your loved one and friends. All you need to do is call Hermes Worldwide today at 303-577-7600 or visit ridehermes.com/DenverSports to book your next ride today.
Looking to sell your used Rolex watch? We buy and sell pre-owned Rolex watches, all styles from old to new. Hi, I'm Scott Matthew with Matthews Fine Watches and Jewelry. Bring in your Rolex watch and we will buy it on the spot. Matthews, located in Highlands Ranch, serving Colorado since 1951.
Football is here, and Fitness Gallery's fall football sale is your playbook for a winning home gym. Save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit any of our 7 stores from Denver to Fort Collins and score big before the sale ends.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're over 50, it's likely you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens, the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Bonnie from O'Meara Ford has convinced me they really want to earn your business. So, talk to me, Bonnie.
Well, O'Meara has over 1,000 vehicles to choose from. Plus, we have the largest service center in the region with 84 service bays. And we've sold 1 million vehicles since 1913. Our friendly staff will treat you right. And when it comes to repairs, our knowledgeable technicians do it right the first time.
There it is. O'Meara saves you time and money, whether you buy new or used. O'MearaFord.com.
Fall is here. The leaves are piling up. The air is getting crisp. Football's back on TV and chili's been simmering in the crock pot for hours. At Postman Law, the season may change, but one thing stays the same. We fight for hardworking folks when they've been injured. We've recovered billions for our clients, and it costs nothing to find out if you have a case. You don't pay a dime unless we win for you. If you've been hurt in an accident, call Postman Law at 844-POSTMAN today. That's 844-POSTMAN. This is attorney advertising.
If you have a tax problem, fear and sleepless nights are common. This is Todd Whalen, founder of Advanced Tax Solutions. We've been fixing tax problems for a long time. Many of our competitors not only have you meet with a salesperson, but that person gets a commission based on what they sell you. At Advanced Tax Solutions, our licensed professionals never get a commission for selling you anything. We've seen a lot of resolution companies come and go, but we're still here. Check us out at advancedtaxsolutions.com.
I'm Brad Barnett, president of Mountain High Appliance. Visit our Denver Clearance Center during our Black Friday sale going on now. Save up to 75% on name brand appliances like Whirlpool, KitchenAid, GE, and Bosch. With unbeatable prices on top quality appliances, now is the perfect time to upgrade your home. Don't miss out on these exclusive deals. Visit us today at the Denver Clearance Center. When you think appliances, think Mountain High Appliance. Open 7 days a week.
Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store.
Thank you. Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan's brought to you by Fitness Gallery, selling the world's finest fitness equipment.
It's Reaction Monday.
What they need potentially, if anything, to get there. And by that, Dante, I mean locking down. I mean, they have a hammer lock on the division, stranglehold on that. They haven't won it yet, but they're 9-2. They're 2 games clear of the Chargers. If you think about one meeting with the Chargers, okay, the Chargers could look at it like if we can get tied, we're basically a game back with 5 to go. Both of those teams, the Broncos they have 6 games left. The Chargers have 6 games left. They're 7-4. So, if the Chargers are able to beat the Broncos, then you're basically 1 back with 5 games left. Doable for the Chargers, much more difficult for the Chiefs, who trail the Broncos by 4. Javon on the RamosLaw.com text line says, should the Broncos look at adding a running back off the street, off of a practice squad potentially? I mean, you'd have to put that guy on the 53, so you'd have to do something there in terms of a roster spot. But what do you think, first off, as far as bringing a guy off the street?
Well, I definitely think I'm going to start off with saying I definitely think that this running back group is not going to be enough. Well, maybe I'm putting my foot in my mouth here. I think it lowers the team ceiling. I'll put it that way. I don't know if it's going to not be enough to win the Super Bowl, but I think it's going to be really difficult to win playoff games when running the ball matters the most. Then you're really putting a lot on Bo Nix's hands. I think winning one game without your starting running back is a lot easier than going on a stretch run here of winning multiple games in a row, playing the best teams week in and week out as you get to the playoffs too. So I'm still very concerned about the run game going forward. I heard the midday, Dover and Cecil, they were talking about, Jeff Wilson is a name that's out on the street. He's a free agent or a practice squad guy. I actually wasn't sure where he is, but he is available, is what I'm trying to say there. I don't know how much that's, going to do it for me either, but I don't know. I am concerned about the running game of the Broncos.
Yeah, I think you have to be, and yet I wonder 2 things. I wonder if Sean's just going to try and compensate for that with what we saw against Kansas City, which is using guys out of the backfield, which he likes to do anyway in the pass game. Again, we have talked about how he doesn't typically like to use running backs in the traditional sense. It's very rare to see a Sean Payton offense have one running back at 20 to 25 carries, the old bell cow analogy. Main running back, maybe, but part of that is using guys out of the backfield. And Dante, when you look at how running backs were used yesterday, we know that the Broncos running backs, Harvey and McLaughlin, had 17 of the 21 carries. Bo had 3, Mims had a carry. But if you look at what they did in the passing game, Harvey had 3 receptions. Adam Prentice had a reception. Tyler Bidet had a catch. McLaughlin had a catch. That's 5 catches or 5 receptions by running backs or fullbacks, whatever, guys out of the backfield. So I think that's going to continue to be what Sean does. And the other factor about bringing a guy in from the outside, whether it be off of a practice squad or off the street, is they just don't know the offense. And so when you're talking about these higher stakes games now, after the Broncos get off the bye and try and lock up the division, lock up home field, lock up the number 1 seed and all of that, there's a calculated risk of relying on a guy that hasn't been here and likely doesn't know the offense that well, if at all. I think it's a gamble. I'm willing to see the Broncos take one, but realistically, I harbor no hopes that they can bring in a running back who can make a meaningful impact anytime soon.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the time is too late. I think it would have been, before the trade deadline when you could have added a legitimate NFL caliber running back. There's a reason these guys are on practice squads. There's a reason these guys are, free agents. So I think it's going to be really hard to find someone that's going to come in and make an impact, similar to what you're saying. But I see it as Sean Payton's going to rely on the passing game more and maybe be a little more creative in that passing game. We saw 9 different Broncos have receptions yesterday. I think we might see a lot of that going forward of, hey, you don't know where we're going to go. We might, have Sutton a bunch here, Franklin a bunch here, but we might mix Adam Prentice in. We might mix Adam Troutman in. So I think they're just going to have to spread the ball out more to kind of offset the lack of running game they're having. But when you have a defense like this, you do really need to be able to run the ball. So I think it's a huge blow to this team that I think as the weeks add up, it's going to be more and more you're going to be able to see it more and more as the weeks go on.
RamosLaw.com text line from the 0384. I wish Marvin Mims would be more of a running back. Do you agree?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I wish he was more of a running back, but I think we'll see him take more carries. Kind of what I was just talking about there with Sean Payton being more creative, where, like I said, 9 different Broncos had receptions yesterday. I think we'll see Marvin Mims get in the run game or mix in the run game more often as we go forward here. It's really going to have to put, Bo Nix and Sean Payton in a place where they're going to have to execute really well and, like I said, be a little more creative than what they probably would like to be, especially as, it gets colder here and it's run the ball weather.
Right, and designed runs for Bo Nix, even runs off of plays that break down. I still like that threat. I'm not sure I would put more design runs for Bo in the game plan, but I wouldn't mind seeing him take off. I know we all want to see Bo win it from the pocket, and, you got to step up. You got to hang in there. You got to go through your progressions. But, man, when you need a big first down, just to know that he has that ability to bail out a play that's gone badly, I think is a big luxury. And I don't mind seeing him use that within reason.
Yeah, and we didn't see him run a whole bunch yesterday.
No, 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 3 times for 8 yards. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit more.
No doubt.
I had maybe had a little bit of wager on Bo Nix's running yards. Didn't quite hit. But I was expecting it. I really did think he was going to be able to run the ball or not be able to. I thought he was going to be I thought he was going to have to run the ball more, just based on how close of a game it was, how good the Chiefs' defense is, and the lack of run game with J.K. Dobbins there. So I think they still have that in their back pocket, as you can use Bo Nix in those situations. But I don't necessarily want to see more designed runs. I'm with you on that. I think you got to keep Nix healthy, to maximize your opportunities here for the Broncos in the playoffs.
Mike brings up an interesting point on the RamosLaw.com text line. Guys, that's a very good defense we played. Now we have 2 weeks to design plays that match the strengths of the running backs. I just, given how the running back core is currently constituted, Dante, I think we're going to see Sean use the running game as a complement to the passing game more than what's traditional, which is, hey, establish the run, play action, throw the football. I think it's going to be flipped in large part, and and part of it is because I think that's what Sean likes to do anyway. And I know the Broncos, and we've talked about how before Dobbins got hurt, they were, in the top third of the NFL in carries per game. So he has run the football, but he does it with a twist a lot. He doesn't always do it the conventional way. And that's why I'm not sure. Let me flip it and say it this way. I think he's comfortable if he has to do that now with Dobbins out.
Yes. I think this is more comfortable for him almost, that he's like, oh, this is what I'm used to, relying on the pass game and just kind of mixing in the run game, where, previously when you had J.K. Dobbins fully healthy, you were able to really lean on that run game. I think that almost made him a little uncomfortable, just because it's not what he's used to doing. It's not what he likes to do necessarily. But it is going to make the offense a little bit more predictable, I would say, if you're not able to establish the run, and that can catch up to you when you are facing these better defenses.
Courtney asked, do you think if Sean used the fullback a little more, the running game might be more effective? Maybe. I think fullback's role in Sean's offense is not to run the ball and not to catch the ball, except as almost a surprise element. It's like, I mean, who thought Adam Prentice would catch a pass yesterday? But it was effective, and that's why. So could it be? Yeah. Do I think Sean's going to go heavy fullback? No, I don't. Do you?
No, I don't. I think he likes having a fullback. I mean, he's had one every year he's been in Denver here. So I didn't really know that about Sean Payton from, observing him from afar when he was in New Orleans. But he really does enjoy having a fullback, and he does put him to use. But I don't think it's not going to be like a mainstay of the Broncos offense. I think it's more of a change up, or, you can use them in those weird situations where, it is Adam Prentice catching a 14-yard pass in a big situation.
Are you ready to say the Broncos are a Super Bowl contender?
Yes. I already kind of thought they were a Super Bowl contender, just how open the AFC was. I mean, you look at the top 3 teams, and they're all kind of before this last weekend with the Broncos, they were all kind of unproven. I don't think the Colts were necessarily proven. I don't think the Patriots were necessarily proven either. At this point, I think you could argue the Broncos are the most proven out of those 3, and those 3 kind of have a runaway in the AFC standings at this point. Obviously, you still have the Bills lurking, you have the Ravens lurking, you have the Chiefs lurking, so there's definitely going to be heavy competition, but, I mean, you could tell me 6, 7, 8 different teams are going to win the AFC and represent them in the Super Bowl, and I think you could put the Broncos in that list very easily, probably towards the top of that list.
If you can't say that now, I'm not sure what you need to see, because the way this defense is playing, that immediately puts them in that echelon for me. We know the Broncos are playing incredible. We know that the Nuggets are playing incredible, and we know that the Avs are playing incredible. From the 8928 on the RamosLaw.com text line, how great is it to be a Denver sports fan right now? Which of those 3 teams is most impressive? That's next.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan is on a mission to feed families this holiday season, and we need your help. As part of our Fill the Truck campaign, we'll be collecting canned goods and non-perishable food items to benefit the Food Bank of the Rockies November 19th, 20th, and 21st. So stop by the Walmart Supercenter in Highlands Ranch near C470 in Quebec from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and help us fill the truck for those in need. Head to denversports.com/truck for more info. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Cake Mortgage Corp. Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 1734623. Licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply. Are your bills keeping you up at night? Imagine using your home equity for a financial reset that helps you to finally get ahead again. At Cake Mortgage, we get it. Life's expensive. Insurance, groceries, and high-interest credit card debt. That's why we created the Cake Fast Cash Home Equity Program. Turn your home into your ATM without touching your existing mortgage rate. Cake Fast Cash is fast. Many clients close in 2 weeks, so call Cake today and pay down high-interest cards, free up cash, or fund home upgrades, and you only pay for what you use. Cake Mortgage. Your fresh-baked fast cash loan is ready to enjoy. Call 720-850-0012. That's 720-850-0012. Or visit cakehome.com.
At Bank of America, we asked our teammates, what makes this company a great place to work?
There's very little that you can't accomplish working for Bank of America.
If you prove yourself, you can try over in a totally new way.
You can learn so much here. You're the owner of your career.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, I know you didn't plan to hear from me this early, but I'm tired of lugging this bowl full of jelly around. That's why me and Mrs. Claus are with Soda Weight Loss now. I'm losing 6 pounds a week. My knees are loving my results, and I'm keeping up with the elves again. And the wife? She's all about this healthier me. Keeps telling me I'm slaying.
Ready to slay all those holiday pictures? Get photo ready and join Soda Weight Loss right now. When you join, your partner joins for free.
With all the weight I've been losing with Soda Weight Loss, they're going to have to make a whole new Santa suit for the big ride.
Real support and help from nutritionists who are just a call or text away. Take advantage of Soda Weight Loss's partner program. Visit sodaweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com.
Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
Tune into Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Wednesdays at 9:15 to hear ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky break down Bo Nix and the Broncos every week during football season. Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's Denver Sports Tonight.
Mike and Dante on the Monday edition, Victory Monday, Reaction Monday for the Broncos, who are now 9-2, winners of 8 straight games, 2 games clear in the AFC West. Chargers in second, Chiefs a distant third, 4 games back. The Nuggets are 10-2, and they are second in the West, and they have won 7 straight games, including a win at Minnesota to cap a 3-0 road trip, 123-112, so kind of exercised a few demons there against the T-Wolves. The Avalanche are absolutely rolling. Best team in the NHL with 31 points, 13-1-5. They are 7-0-2 at home, 6-1-3 on the road. And the Avs have won, 6 in a row and 8 of 9. So as our texter pointed out before the break, how good is it to be a Denver sports fan right now? Dante, which of those 3 teams has impressed you the most to this point?
Can I cheat and say all of them?
You can say whatever you want.
They all have looked so good. I was at the Avs game last night in person, and Scott Wedgwood, oh my goodness, what a game he had.
Yeah.
Just absolutely incredible. The Avalanche on the penalty kill has been great this season. Still need to work on their power play. Aren't quite, as efficient as they probably should be, especially given how talented they are offensively. So, some still small stuff to work on. The Nuggets have been great with, that's mixing in some injuries there with Cam Johnson, and Christian Brown's going to miss, extended period of time here too. That could concern me a little bit, just given that the Nuggets aren't the best defensive team as it is, and then you lose one of your better defenders in Christian Brown. I'm kind of nitpicking here with these teams, but they've been absolutely incredible. The Nuggets should stay hot here. I know they have the Bulls coming up tonight, the Kings, the Pelicans, the Spurs without Wemby, so they should be able to keep some, the wins here rolling. They all look great. To me, if you're asking me to pick, which team's most likely to win the championship, I'd probably go with the Nuggets. I think the Nugs and Avs are both top 3 teams in their respective sport. I just think basketball leans itself a little bit more to the best team usually wins the championship. So that's the only reason I would say the Nuggets, but I think all 3 teams have a good chance of winning their, championships in their own leagues.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Nuggets having the best chance. I think if I had to pick one to win a title, it would be the Nuggets. But in terms of what team has impressed me the most to this point, I would have to say the Broncos. I love what the Avs have done for all the reasons you mentioned and more. Natchez has been tremendous. Mack has elevated his game even more to start this year, which is hard to believe. The goaltending situation is more than solid with Wedge there and Mackenzie Blackwood still sort of lurking after the early season absences. The Nuggets, again, talk about a guy like McKinnon. Joker, the way he's elevated his play to start this year has been phenomenal. Jamal appears engaged and ready and a part of things in a big, big way in which he hasn't in recent seasons. And then the additions have been absolutely huge. The big guy Valanciunas behind Joker. Cam Johnson's been slow to come around. I think by the end of the season, he's going to be just fine. And I think the Nuggets will be able to compensate for the loss of Christian Brown over the next, 4 to 6 weeks well enough. And they've got plenty of firepower to do it, especially with the additions. But because personally I felt like the Avs and Nuggets were going to be great, maybe they've exceeded how well I thought they'd play to start the years for each of them. I didn't expect 9-2 out of the Broncos. And what the Broncos have been able to do defensively, Dante, and in just dominating, they've dominated great quarterbacks, in particular Mahomes. They've done very well against great tight ends, Kelsey and Bowers. Kelsey started to have some success in the second half, but Bowers didn't do much in the Raider matchup, and they could have used him. The defense has been absolutely top shelf virtually all year. And for the Broncos to be able to win these close ones and find ways when the chips are down has been nothing short of phenomenal. For that reason, what they have done to this point, up until today, has impressed me the most.
I think that's fair, especially if you're, asking who's the most impressive relative to their expectations. I think the Broncos had less expectations than both the Avs and the Nuggets. So I think that's a fair answer on your end. Broncos are also deeper into the season. They've been doing it for longer. The Nuggets and Avalanche are, at the early parts of their season. A lot of, casual sports fans probably won't even start tuning in until February, January here. So if they're able to keep it up, though, I just see both of those teams being 1 or 2 seeds in the Western Conference.
And most of last year I remember at this time the Nuggets got out of the gate slowly. They had all kinds of issues, and I took that same approach. Okay, I'm not going to panic. It's November and they're not playing very well. And sure enough, a lot of the troublesome signs we saw early from the Nuggets last year continued throughout the season. I'm interested to follow the Nuggets and the Avs just to see if they can continue this kind of pace because it has been so much fun. And Dante, that's the way I described the last hour with you, as always. So much fun.
I'm jealous. I'm from Arizona. I have to root for these terrible teams. And I just see everybody around me, all my friends out here, having a great time rooting for Denver sports. It seems like a blast. It is fun still coming in here and covering them and everything, but It's if I'm a Denver sports fan, don't take it for granted. I think it's the absolute best time to be a Denver sports fan, probably in the history of Denver sports. Good for you guys, I guess. Whatever.
There you go. We'll take it. He's Dante Gomez. I'm Mike Rice. Thanks for joining us. It's Denver Sports Tonight on 104.3 The Fan.
The Broncos walked off the Chiefs and took a commanding lead in the AFC West. By taking down Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, did Sean Payton officially prove that Denver is a true contender? Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Heads up, pros. Now's your chance to unlock deeper savings. The Home Depot's new Pro Extra Preferred pricing can help you save thousands on the products your business uses the most. But the current benefit ends November 15th. Don't miss out. Registration for the new program is free and easy. Just bring your tax ID or business or contractor's license to the Pro Desk. Register now to lock in the best wholesale prices before it's too late.
Jim, it's late in the half here at Empower Field, and things are coming down to the wire at the concession stand.
Nachos are a solid choice, but Grant needs to finish strong here.
He scans his wallet and pulls out his Broncos checking debit card for 10% off.
Wow, savvy move. And with no surprise fees, he won't regret this order.
I don't know, Jim. That's a lot of cheese. Bank like a Bronco with Broncos checking from Int Credit Union. Insured by NCUA. Membership required.
Peyton Manning here. Throughout my football career, staying healthy was a big priority, but bumps, bruises, and injuries were part of the game. And for me, it's not just the clinical excellence and expertise that sets a medical team apart. It's also the compassion, kindness, and empathy they show. At Common Spirit Health, healing is quality care and human kindness. And my friends at Common Spirit are teaming up with their partners to spread human kindness and create healthy communities. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
Brandon Stokely here from my team, ROX, Rocks Heating and Air. Are you ready for winter? Worries you might need a new furnace? Don't know where to begin? Rocks Heating and Air makes it incredibly easy with their new, free, no obligation online heating and cooling quote. It takes less than 5 minutes and gives you options instantly. No calls, no waiting, and transparent pricing. Only at ROX, Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX, Rocks Heating and Air.
Looking to sell your used Rolex watch? We buy and sell pre-owned Rolex watches, all styles from old to new. Hi, I'm Scott Matthew with Matthews Fine Watches and Jewelry. Bring in your Rolex watch and we will buy it on the spot. Matthews, located in Highlands Ranch, serving Colorado since 1951.
Gobble, 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 gobble. Oh man, I do a terrible turkey impersonation. Hey everybody, Dan Jacobs from Jacobs Law on 303 Law 4040. Those of you that listen to the Dan Jacobs Show know that I just love the holidays. But I also know these holidays in particular can be really tough on a lot of people, whether it's the government shutdown, inflation, the economy, whatever it is, or some people just have a hard time during the holidays as it is every single year. It's just a hard time of year for them. As always, we want to be here for you. If we can help out with a little bit of that with free food and groceries, we would love to have you any first or third Thursday of the month. Come on out to Eastern Hills Church at Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road. We're even doing smoked ham and turkey this month in honor of Thanksgiving. So if you need it, anybody, no questions asked. You just pull up and pop the trunk. 4 to 6 p.m., Eastern Hills Community Church, every first and third Thursday, Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road.
Durable coverage, it starts at the top.
Hi everyone, Mark Allman here, owner of Colorado Preferred Roofing. Wherever you are on the Front Range, hail damage isn't always easy to spot, and the last thing you want to do is discover damage late in the season. That's why we offer a comprehensive property inspection to catch issues early and give you the peace of mind that you need. Schedule your free inspection today at coloradopreferredroofing.com. We're never too busy to protect what matters most.
Durable coverage, it starts at the top.
Colorado Preferred Roofing.
The Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth podcast is brought to you by Xfinity. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One consistent internet price for the next 5 years guaranteed. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Is their new head coach. Part of the deal to hire Franklin includes a $9 million settlement for the $49 million buyout of Penn State. Monday Night Football, they're in the second quarter in Vegas, and it is the Cowboys leading the Raiders 10-6. In fact, Prescott a few moments ago with a touchdown pass to CeeDee Lamb from 18 yards out. Bengals receiver